Call the meeting to order. Everyone rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Can we get a roll call?
Absolutely. Wonderjum.
Here.
Klein. Here. Steffes.
Here.
Gardine. Here. Palmer. Here. DeHaan.
Here.
Hybler.
Here. Thank you. As a courtesy to the members of the audience and the Board of Education, please silence your cell phone. Public will be only able to speak during public comment if signed up. I have 2 forms. We're good? All right. First item, approval of the agenda.
So moved. Support.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? All right, passes. Reports agenda, board member reports. Let's start with Mr. Steffes.
Oh, boy, it's been a little bit quiet for me. Girls' basketball camp's been attended a couple of those. Fantastic. Coaches were great, kids were great, parents were awesome. And that's about it for tonight. Thanks, Walt, for the nice temperature in here.
Yeah.
Recognize Walt for that. Appreciate that. This is perfect.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Amy.
Yeah, I would just want to give a little follow-up from Parks and Recs where Sarah is, I'm going to say her last name, Cisnewski, is that how you say it? Yep. She is going to be taking over Chris's spot, and it was really great. I got to be behind her in the 4th of July parade, so she was doing the Grandville softball, and I was with friends of Buck Creek, and just chatting it up, so it's going to be a nice addition. Pickleball courts, we did have some people wondering about signage out there. There was some conflict and some interesting stuff going on, and so we're, for the first year, taking down the signage and making it like it used to be around here, and then see how that goes, and then we'll progress from there. So people had asked, I think, if we could make reservations, and it's really a first come, first serve right now. So there's that, and it's been really fun to watch my son with Heather's kids and with AJ, and working really hard to get that 5th, 6th grade building filled. The books all everywhere they're supposed to go, chairs everywhere. They're way ahead of schedule, so that's not something you always hear.
Great.
All right, all set?
Yeah.
All right, good. Bob.
I don't know if anyone's been paying, if you've all been paying attention, but when school aid was passed, it was incredibly disappointing. You could see the politics that played into it, which negatively impacts students and staff, especially when it comes to just the funding per pupil. And as Roger and Heather had mentioned when we did the budget hearing, what they're doing with the pension. So they're essentially hurting staff, and in my opinion, it's because of a potential political career of our governor and her agenda. So based on what was shared in February, and I know Roger's probably going to talk about this, but it's very sad because we have no control over this. All we can do is sit back and watch them play games with education. The other piece that really upset me was the fact that, okay, they're going to do free community college for students. And again, it takes money out of public schools. So they started taking higher ed back probably 20 years ago, right before you were on the board. It should never have been inside of the school aid, but it has. And again, it's another one of those, in my opinion, the word is boondoggle, a boondoggle program that negatively impacts schools. Now, you can say the free lunch is a positive. I don't have a plus or minus on that. It's where everything else is going and how it's affecting public schools. Because we are good stewards. We manage our funds very well. There's a lot of districts that either can't or don't. So Had to get on my soapbox. That's all I had.
All right, thank you. Kim?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the bands who are out there practicing already. Drumline's out there banging away tonight. They've been meeting every Monday, adding Thursday soon, pre-camp and regular camp. I know your family's really involved with that, Jason and Amy and many other families here. So just love seeing that going on. I know they're excited, the band and many other teams, to get on the new turf, which looks lovely. Gone by that, seen a few pictures online as well. So thanks again to the community for making those things happen. And echoing just general concern, both at the state and national level, to keep eyes on things both proposed and executed already, both in current and, you know, upcoming platforms. There's a lot of things that have me scratching my head going, what is going on? From taking a lens off of education at a national level to some of the changes that have happened recently at our state. So I think that we do have a voice and we need to use it, and that's one of the things that we need to do, is make sure that we speak up, encourage people in our community to speak up as well, to make sure that education in K-12 is funded properly and is also looked at. It's important as a nation that we keep an eye on education. When we all start going our separate ways, we end up with a very troubled education system. We already have a lot of autonomy in the state and at the local levels, not as much as sometimes some would want, but there's just a lot of proposals I've read in the last couple weeks that make me sick to my stomach. So keep an eye on that. But otherwise, here in our community, I love seeing what's going on, and I'm really, really happy watching the kids, you know, keep engaged and keep involved, and seeing our summer programming going really strong. So thanks to the community ed department for making those opportunities happen, both from a continued learning aspect and engagement with students, but also for all the families out there who need to continue working during the summer. It's such a blessing to have programs like that available to our community to make sure kids are in a safe space and still engaging.
Good. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to make note of the newsletter again. It came this week,
Mhm.
and I always just feel good about all that is in there, a variety of things, and a whole page on kindergarten readiness, which I thought was really helpful to parents to be able to gauge that and to understand kind of what that means for them. So appreciate all that. And actually, some of the other items that have come out from the school, like getting in the mail, you know, some flyers, all very professional looking and I would think attractive to those who are looking for a nice district to settle in. So kudos to that work as well. And I just also wanted to express my disappointment in the school aid fund. I really thought the governor had a good proposal to keep it kind of high, and then when it didn't even come close, it was quite disappointing. And I'm sure politics had probably a lot to do with it. And that's the unfortunate piece, is that our kids and our staff as well suffer. You're right, we don't have much to say about how that money comes to us, and I don't know if we need to be more advocates to promote to our families so that they understand what this means. I don't know if it'd make any difference to have advocacy or people calling or giving stories, just how important the public schools are to their families and our businesses, etc. So I just wanted to put that out there too, that it was very disappointing, and I know we're going to work it, but it is, for other districts and other schools, it could be really hard. So that's all.
Thank you. Bert?
Just a couple, just to add to what a couple of Amy and Kim said already, but the pickleball courts, my kids have been using it a ton. I haven't used them yet, but they say that they have to wait for them, even with the additional courts now, which is great that there's that many people out there doing that, but they love them. And then just to, again, how nice the turf looks and how quick it was done. Heather and Roger, it was done, I don't know, at least a month, maybe 6 weeks ahead of schedule. And it looks great. I was there, I think it was last week, they had the youth football camp, and I think there was 140 kids signed up, and that's the most that they've ever had. So that's pretty exciting to have that many kids involved in extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
So that's it all I've got.
Yeah.
My neighbor built a pickleball court.
Did he could probably rent it out.
Yeah.
Really good.
You might want to put that on Facebook.
I've asked whenever it ever works. Someone's backyard, they've got it. I'll see them out there every now and then. So yeah. All right. That's all? Good, thank you. So just to echo in a couple things people have said, the sports camps and all the activities, community ed has been great. You know, I've got someone that works with me, he lives in Grandville, and he was talking about his kids and how they go to the camps and how it was actually a little difficult that week before the 4th of July because everything was kind of shut down that week. And, you know, you take for granted, people using this to help them so that the 12 and 10-year-olds and, don't tear each other apart, if they're home alone for 8 hours, right? And then so these camps can really help that. And all these activities that the kids can get into. So that's great to see. The group that went from the choir and band returned from Europe. They all had a fantastic trip. It was great to hear from Ross, one of the music directors. He was talking about how some of the days they were there, some of the kids in other groups were like, oh, we're tired, let's go home, let's go back to the hotel and so forth. He said, not the Grandville kids. They're all, let's just go hang out in the square, let's just go see something. Even if there wasn't anything scheduled, let's just not be in our room, let's just go out and experience everything. So all of them just had a great response and had a great time and really enjoyed being there. And the kids had an opportunity to meet kids from other schools. They were, and actually really understand how lucky they are to be in Grandville. They were hanging out with some kids from like Saugatuck and so forth, and they were talking about they didn't have a golf team, or they don't have a tennis team, or they don't have this, they don't have that, and how lucky they felt, to be in Grandville schools and all the different opportunities we have. So that was really cool to see. The newsletter come out, and in being a girl dad, I got to mention this. All the top 10 were all females. So that, I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm sure that's probably happened before, but that's the first time.
There was
I think it's one male.
There was
Oh,
one
was
male.
there?
There was one male.
Who?
He just was not.
He was not
No
pictured.
picture. No picture. Oh, okay, all right, fair. My bad. My bad. Okay.
That, though.
Okay,
I
yeah.
heard that a lot. Oh, girl.
All right, my mistake. So anyway, but that was really yeah, a lot of girls. 9 out of 10, right? So that was cool to see. And then just like you said, it hit me this weekend that school's right around the corner because we have a wedding to be at the UP, and I had in August, and I had asked my son, I said, does tennis start at that point yet or not? And tennis does start, so it's, believe it or not, it's right around the corner. So it was the last time I'll wear a t-shirt, and once we get back into school mode, I'll go back to a collared shirt for you. Right?
You're so
Yeah, there you go.
That's how we are.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Okay. Well, thanks. A lot of neat things, obviously, going on. If you see a lady at the pickleball courts blowing them off, that's my wife. Tomorrow's my blower. Every time she goes, she has a group of ladies she plays with.
That's right.
And I make sure it's charged up. It's one of those battery ones. So she takes that and blows all the cords off for everybody when she's
So
over
nice.
there. But she's like, well, I can't just blow ours off. 'Cause then other people come, and I feel bad because if there's something on there, you know, I mean, yeah, okay, whatever. But she does not together. But yeah, there's a pickleball mania is alive and well, without question. Yeah, so we just want to touch a little bit on the school aid budget. You know, when we had talked about it, Heather and I had presented to you, we said it's raining, it's not pouring, and we would let you know if it's pouring. Well, it's still raining. We want you to know that. It really, to us, is kind of a wash right now of what, we had projected, the things we had put in place to save money. Our focus is going to continue to be, saving and being very cautious about how we're spending money. We've done a lot of things with attrition. We've consolidated some things, finagled some things, and already, looking at cost savings that way. We do here, the thing, I guess, starting out, the things that blew my mind were obviously, the foundational allowance remaining unchanged. We have 9,608 student, and we appreciate that. But at the same time, I think it's the first time it's over a decade, right? Yeah, maybe longer. It's
during
been a
my
while.
time in schools where I haven't had one.
It's
hasn't gone up?
That it hasn't gone up, and I mean, you think the cost of living, the rate of inflation, all the things that happen. I mean, it typically does, and it didn't. So that was a shocker. First of all, we talked about the OPEB piece, and we ended up getting 5.75 for a year, and that helped balance what we thought we were going to get in the foundation. So like I said, that piece became a wash.
That's only for a year.
It is. Right now, it's only for 1 year,
So it's just they're just plugging it with
Exactly.
gum.
Yeah.
The hole's still there.
Right. The thing that blew my mind was the 31AA funding for mental health school safety. That was cut by $200 a student. And what we've heard, what happens, I mean, in my mind, this was I guess putting it, if you're a shooter, a target shooter, it's a ready, fire, aim approach. I think they knew they had to get out, election stuff was going to be happening. They wanted to get people out. They worked on some stuff. They thought they had something. They didn't think as hard or ask the right people about what do you think about this and that. They plugged some things through. Politics, yeah, probably some politics played without question. And they did it and they left. And then all of a sudden people start saying, well, what about this? What about that? If you do this, the way you have it structured, it's time. Time is money and so on. And we've gotten, with discussion with legislators, even though they left, a lot of them are saying they're going to come back with an amended budget. So we'll see what happens with that. That plays in. Obviously, student count plays in. There's a lot of variables still. We're just going to continue to approach moving forward with caution, and we've already done a lot of things. We're going to continue to be cautious on how we spend money. Sometimes people will ask for things, and what may have been, go right ahead, is now quite different. I mean, we really look at things different, and we need to anyway, because those federal dollars are gone, let's face it, and we don't know the certainty of funding for the future, so we really must do that anyway. That's the way we typically have done business prior to COVID, so we'll continue to do that. But like I said, and Heather, you tell me if I'm wrong, but we are fine. Our staffing, our things we're putting in place are fine. We'll be very cautious, but yes, it is raining. And we're continuing to tell people it's raining, and we can't do business like we did before. But it's not pouring, and in a lot of places, like Bob had mentioned, it's pouring. I mean, places are laying people, large amounts of people out and having to try to figure out a lot, and that's quite unfortunate that they did this and then got out of town. So we'll see where it goes. We'll keep you posted. Heather, you have anything you want to add?
I think just from an advocacy standpoint that you were all talking about, I think the biggest piece is that Senate Bill 911 right now.
Yes.
It passed, so it was originated in the Senate, it was their proposal, went to the House and it was passed. For whatever reason, it never made it back with the budget to the Senate so that they could vote on both the budget and that bill before they left. And so that's the reason for the one-time funding piece for OPEB. Right. It's also a mess for staff, because you'll also recall that the 3% was going to go away for them, that mandatory 3%. And what the way the language is now is, for 1 year, they will continue to pay the 3%. The district will capture that, send it to the ORS, who will in turn basically audit the payroll piece, reimburse us for us to only pay them back their 3%. So these are like some of the things that you just shake your head at, and because not only is it not advantageous for the staff member, it's extra work for us with less people, you know what I mean? Like with no extra people, so.
And it also counts, right? From the all the taxes, everything for them. So those will all be taken out, of course.
So it's backwards, but we're hearing positive that when the Senate reconvenes, that's one of the first things they'll take up. But that would be, if you're going to reach out.
Reach out to your senator.
Yep, reach out to your senator.
Well,
And speak about the
Senate Bill 911.
Senate Bill 911.
I think we should gather some unified talking points together. MASC might be helpful with that as well.
Yeah.
Unless you have something, but maybe just
No, yeah,
reach out to
for
them
sure.
and get us something this week.
Yeah, I wrote down
We,
that down.
we can come up with those for you.
Would like that. Thank
Maybe
you.
the
That's
full
great.
Kent Intermediate District of School Boards.
Mhm.
I can't, KIASD or something.
KISD.
Well, the school board for the, all of us.
Yeah.
That they might want to also see something like that. I just feel like we need to engage a bit more with our legislators. I know you do that.
Yeah.
and but I think some
And
of
we
us
have
could help.
We
or-
have
It's easy when
advocacy
it's good
from
not to,
a-
right?
From an
a-
organization,
Yeah,
too?
from an organization,
Is
actually.
MASB, they do? any of
MASB
this?
does, but we do locally with our county, as does Ottawa,
Okay.
as does Muskegon.
Okay, so they have their county.
We all,
Okay.
we have a triangle piece that does advocacy for us, and they tell us when they need people to
Okay.
call and when they
Okay.
need us, they keep us up to date, they do a good job with it.
So with the numbers as they worked out, do we know what our projected fund balance percent would be then?
Yeah, it's not
It's
changed.
not
In
So
fact,
this is what
we
so
got.
like the
Yeah.
proposal I brought you, based on what they approved is like $61,000 from a revenue standpoint less than what I brought you.
Yeah. And we'll see what any kind of amended budget brings. And, we'll keep this conversation going
Yeah.
with you.
So the Senate can do that? They can submit a revised budget?
They can do
Always
an
have an
amended
amendment.
budget.
An amended
Yeah,
budget,
they
okay.
they can propose an amendment.
And that goes to then the House for their,
Could be the
something like that?
same
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
So, a couple things on this, since we're continuing the conversation. MASB had a live video conference on July 1 that is on YouTube, and I watched it. It's an hour long. The fact that this was passed at 5 a.m., House leadership was well aware of 9/11, and they intentionally left it off. So I want, again, I'm going to go back to Barb because she's been here as long. How long have we been talking about sinking fund is going to allow buses and technology? Okay? I think this is my 25th year. It's been 25 years. So them saying they're going to go back and amend is just to keep everybody quiet until they move on. I mean, that's reality. If you really believe that, then I will say a prayer for you so that it does come true,
Okay.
because I don't believe it'll happen.
Say a prayer about it, because I think there's a good opportunity. I can't see from this, especially the safety component and the mental health component, how they can leave that alone. So they're gonna have to amend that, and if they amend that, it opens the door for some discussion and education, quite frankly, on a few other things. So, maybe I'm overly optimistic.
You
but
can
we'll
be.
see.
I'm normally a half glass full guy, but I'm not in this situation because I've been
Right.
in front of it for a long time.
I have too.
They give you a lot of empty promises, and I have a feeling these are empty promises.
I had a discussion in June with a representative, one-on-one, and he basically said, we got funding coming for safety and mental health stuff, and then this went through. I was blown away.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful
Mhm.
that they do pull through with an amendment.
Yeah.
Maybe because they didn't get the budget back, that there would be some senators saying, yeah, we really didn't have a chance to look at it again, or whatever you said, it didn't make it back.
I think it went through fast, and I think
5 in the
people
morning.
didn't really think about some of the ramifications for what they did, unfortunately.
All right. Well, thank you guys for your leadership on it, being only $61,000 and a budget of how many million? Off is not
87
bad.
million, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's not bad, right? Especially with all the flux that's going on with it. So appreciate your guys' leadership in keeping in front of it, because it is scary when you hear of school districts like Ann Arbor and so forth, and the cuts that they're having to make to their overall.
And even smaller
workforce.
school
Oh, yeah.
districts, so the smaller ones are getting just eaten alive.
Yep.
A lot of the northern schools.
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
bad.
So thank you. So thank you guys. So All right. Any other old business?
No business.
Okay. Consent action items. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? All right, that passes. On to regular action. 5A, Parks and Recreation School Representative. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve Sarah Cisniewski as a school representative of the Grandville Parks and Recreation Board. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Discussion.
Yeah, so Sarah was interested in that position, as Amy had mentioned, was vacated by Chris Orm. Had an interview, good conversation. She's a wonderful fit. She's already involved in a lot of things in Grandville, including Grandville Little League. She's a mom of 2 kids that are in our district, and I think she'd be a fabulous addition to that group that we have. So
We're just taking a bunch of former Hoosiers because she's from Indiana.
Yes.
She's like, what's that area code?
Right. So anyway, I'd like to recommend Sarah for that position to be a school representative.
Any other discussion?
She's a great fit.
Good. All right. Well, thank you. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. 5B, Community Education Furniture. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the purchase and installation of furniture for the newly remodeled Community Education Office located within Oakstown from the Interphase Interiors in the amount of $37,250.22. And this quote is based off of the M-Deal contract pricing. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Discussion.
Just a reminder, this is bond money as part of the bond. And Heather, anything you want to add about this?
Yeah, it's really just some reception area furniture and then conference room, because there'll be a conference room there as well, so.
It's nice that with this reload that we give them the kind of furniture and just, this is a community facing, so it's nice that we're doing this.
Especially after what we heard from Jason with, everything is busy all the time with these.
Yeah.
They put so much back into our community. It's great.
Yeah, all the camps and everything is fantastic.
Yeah, they really do a nice
deserve-
job.
They deserve appropriate furniture.
Yep. All right.
This lounge chair, is that one that has, you can sleep on it?
No.
Those are
It's after water aerobics. You can just
Might need it after
lay
some of
down.
their exercise classes, I'm sure. I heard for weeks.
Just wanted to check it out.
There you go. All right. No other discussion. Let's do a roll call vote.
Okay. Palmer, yes. Gardine,
Yes.
Dahan,
Yes.
Steppas,
Yes.
Wondergem,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Highborn,
Yes.
pass.
All right. Thank you.
Lounge room.
You get the first
Okay, I wanna
use of the
test drive
lounge,
it.
all right? Fair enough. All right, 5C, on to 5C, the security camera software license renewal. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the renewal of the Milestone security camera system licensing for a purchase price of $40,745. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Walt.
So this is the renewal of the licensing and software maintenance for the security camera system throughout the district. You can see in the item there that the district has right around 500 security cameras deployed throughout the district. Trying to be as cost conscious as we can with this renewal. We did get a 1-year and a 3-year renewal, and the 3-year renewal for the licensing ends up saving approximately almost $17,000.
Yeah, it's free
versus
years.
So obviously, security cameras aren't probably something that's going away in the district, so trying to be as cost conscious as possible and renew it out for 3 years. So,
When did we, I was blown away at the header. When did Vice get into the security
I was thinking the
camera
same
business?
thing. we haven't gone through them for our security
I
cameras
mean, Vice
before.
Electric is,
Yeah.
but that's 25 years ago, but
So in the last few years, Beist Electric has kind of expanded their business model to be called Beist Automation now. So they do things like security cameras, door systems, all of that kind of stuff. So we had some issues with our previous security camera vendor as far as timing and getting equipment, and that was obviously an issue for everybody during COVID. But with Beist being a.
Local.
Right, and a local vendor and also a state-approved vendor, they made sense.
That's nice. When we look at, when we push back sometimes on RFPs and we're looking for the local guy, this is exciting to see. It really is. How long have we, when did we switch to Beist?
So the
During
security
COVID?
cameras that we put in at the middle school, I believe our first major project with Beist.
Okay. Nice.
Is every building in the district on the same camera system?
Yes, it's all one camera system, yep.
Nice.
So is this something that goes through the state bidding process?
It is,
It is,
yes.
okay.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Any other questions? Nice work on getting that $17,000. That's good work. All right, let's do a roll call vote again.
Okay, Winterjohn,
Yes.
Palmer, yes. Klein,
Yes.
Stefas,
Yes.
Gardine,
Yes.
DeHaan.
Yes.
Highboard.
Yes.
Yes, pass.
All right, very good, thank you. On to 5D, endpoint security software purchase. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the purchase of CrowdStrike endpoint detection and response software for a total purchase price of $28,020. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
So this is, the district obviously has antivirus software that we run on all of our endpoints throughout the district. This is kind of the next step as far as that goes. It's something called EDR, MDR, Enhanced Detection and Response Software. So a legacy antivirus product will, if somebody copies a malicious file to the file server or something like that, it'll, delete that file. This software does something where it will look at the normal behaviors of a computer. So it will, it's kind of doing an AI thing. It's kind of the buzzword these days, but it will look at, Roger's computer normally just opens emails, he prints some files. If suddenly Roger's computer starts connecting to something that it normally doesn't, this software can automatically lock that down and prevent it. So this software is good at preventing things like ransomware attacks and things that infect school systems and try and spread to different servers and computers throughout the network. The cost of this is something that the Kent ISD did consortium pricing for, so that's the pricing model here. And then also there is 2 state level grants, and then also the federal E-rate system is all looking at possible reimbursement for school districts to try and offset some of the costs of this. So obviously this is the cost up front, but we're hopeful that something like E-rate or there's some other grants out there that will offset the cost of this.
So on the actual quote, can you explain total annual list and total discount for me, Walt? Because I thought, my God, you are a magician.
So I don't know that I can take the credit for that pricing discount. As I said, this is a Kent ISD consortium pricing. So they went out, got bids from a number of different EDR, MDR vendors and said, we expect, with the number of school districts in Kent County, here's the number of licenses that we'd be looking at purchasing. That's like, the list price and then discounted price. So obviously they took a substantial amount off the list price.
We also did our due diligence though, because we thought sometimes maybe we could get something better, because we have in the past with a vendor right down the road from us, Raymond. But not this.
No, yeah, this is one of those things where, so actually, there was ISD pricing. I reached out to one of the other vendors that I normally work with for some software renewal and said, hey, can you get me a price on this? Could you possibly beat it? And this is one of those things where they went, oh, you're already working with the Kent ISD. They've basically sharpened their pencil as much as they can. We can't beat that, essentially. So,
Got it.
but we did do our due diligence.
I mean, okay, quarter of $250,000 and we're paying $28,000.
How many districts in Kent are going to proceed with this? Do you have any idea?
So some of the other tech directors that I'm familiar with in the district, Thornapple Kellogg is definitely doing this same process. Forest Hills has this similar product. It's not the same. They had actually kind of been a little bit ahead of it. So they purchased a different product before the Kent ISD did consortium pricing, but they have something like this rolled out as well. So most districts in Kent County are somewhere in the process of rolling this out.
With the way the budgets go, probably for both of you. With the way the budgets go, as we move on, future, is there any opportunity, since we used to have staff that were ours, but paid by the county, for them to just take care of this and give us our licenses and they maintain it?
So I think as far as the local control, there was kind of some discussions among tech directors that, when security incidents happen, we like to have that local control.
I understand.
But Kent ISD getting consortium pricing is, the price-effective way to make that happen. There is also a discussion happening as far as having cybersecurity staff that the Kent ISD pays for. So obviously, a trained cybersecurity person on staff is not necessarily something that an individual school district can afford these days. So there is a process going on right now at the Kent ISD to kind of evaluate that possibility.
I can't think of her last name. Remember Nancy from Wayland? She was here, and then she went to the ISD, and she was responsible for the first fiber, and she set up something big like this, long time ago.
Yeah.
Barb Heemstra.
Was it Barb? Yes, it was Barb Heemstra.
Barb Heemstra.
Yes.
I remember her.
Yeah, Barb. She was phenomenal. And then she became, what, director of county IT?
Yeah, she went to Kent County, and then she was at another company, a private company, I
Yeah,
think, as well.
yeah.
But yeah, she was the one responsible for the district fiber infrastructure
Yeah,
network
but-
that we're still using to this day.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But just, I don't know, it just seems like there's an opportunity not to have you mentioned AI, so I'm going to say Big Brother. Maybe we have a middle brother that can help pay for this, but we still get the control. And then they take care of the cyber side, because, yeah, if you've got a source, because how, out of 100%, how secure are you? Can you tell me you're 100% that nothing's going to happen with this?
No, I would never
Thank
say
you.
that.
I was gonna say, if he did, I'd say no.
Well, that's why I'm sort of going down
They
this
make
path.
technology and someone
Yeah.
outsmarts it. It's just
Yeah.
a constant
Yeah.
cycle in
Yeah.
technology.
It's who can outsmart the next
Yeah.
person.
Which,
I think this is cool.
very best.
Yeah, so that's where
what's-
I'm hopeful that the cybersecurity full-time staff person that would be employed by the ISD, but then would offer their services to the individual school districts, that's something that's coming down.
Cool.
So I was interested in the whole 7 months. Why the 7 months, and what's the purpose of the February date?
So because of the way the pricing was negotiated, our contract with VDA Labs, with CrowdStrike, is co-termed with their licensing. And
Okay.
because it's co-termed, and that's, technically this is under the board approval threshold, but for one, we wanted to keep you informed as far as, cybersecurity in the district, but also, when we renew this for 1 year coming up 8 months from now, it will be a 1-year renewal, which will be over the board approval threshold. So that's why the focus
Okay.
8-month.
So when this is gonna come back up in February, then we'll probably see somewhere around the $40,000 number as opposed to the
Yeah,
28 we're seeing
obviously I
today.
can't predict pricing, but.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, come on, sign up for it. All right, no, okay, no, appreciate it, thank you. And that's obviously timely, right, with all the issues Rockford had at the end of the school, which they probably would have wanted to sign up for this about 6 months ago, right? So, all right, good. Let's do a roll call.
Roll call. Klein.
Yes.
Gardine.
Yes.
Stefas.
Yes.
Wondergem.
Yeah.
Dahan.
Yes.
Palmer, yes. Hybor.
Yes. Motion passes, thank you. And 5E, one more for you, Walt. Cisco Maintenance Agreement Renewal. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the renewal of the Cisco Maintenance Agreement for a period of 3 years at a cost of $248,866.75. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Discussion.
So this is the renewal of the maintenance agreement for the critical network infrastructure in the district. That includes things like the core switch, so the core switching network that sits downstairs here in the data center. The big cost item in this renewal is the firewall in the district. So we employ 2 Cisco firewalls that are in a high availability pair that obviously protect the internal Grandville network from the internet. So that thing, or that appliance does malware protection. So whereas the software that we talked about earlier will protect individual workstations on Grandville's district, this piece of hardware will protect things coming in from the internet to Grandville's network from things like malware, viruses, websites that are, that type of thing. So, again, this obviously represents a fairly substantial investment, but we did some due diligence here as well. We actually, this pricing is through the MyDeal consortium pricing, the statewide bid. We also reached out to a number of different vendors to see if they could get the best price. The vendor that we actually renewed with last time was a little bit more, so that this vendor, People Driven Computing, was roughly $5,000 cheaper, but $5,000 is $5,000. So,
That's right.
and again, the 3-year renewal represents a cost savings, a substantial one over the single-year renewal. So.
Now, how does this compare to the last time we've had to do this?
So the last time, the last time we had to do this, what we did is we did a 3-year agreement, and that 3-year agreement was able to lock in pricing for a period of 3 years. So the last renewal that we did was right around $70,000.
Oh.
So in those 3 years, because we
See, look what happens.
because we had that pricing locked in, the pricing couldn't change. So the last year of that agreement was this past year. So the renewal has gone up in that period of time.
Wow.
Inflation.
So, People Driven, are they just a licensee?
Essentially, yes. Yep, they're a reseller.
What else do we use them for, since they're in Byron Center? Or is that just a sales office?
Doorbell.
Apparently that was the wrong answer.
Is that something else you're going to come to us with a bill for?
The buzzer system?
Yeah.
So they're a fairly new vendor. They are on the statewide bid list. We have used them in the past for things like some server infrastructure support systems, things, when I don't have the expertise to support something,
Right.
we've called them in. I don't know that we've done any major purchases with them. There have been some staffing changes that happened between different vendors. So the guy that I'm working with at People Driven, I'm fairly familiar with. So.
Okay. Nice.
So all this that we're looking at, is this just like a timeline of when certain things will be purchased, or?
So there's some co-terming in there, so you'll see some different dates for different items in the
Yes.
list. Yeah, so there's, depending on when the agreement for that specific item, that individual network switch or that individual, firewall code comes up, that's why the different dates in there.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
It's a big price, but you did a nice job.
All right. Let's do another roll call.
Okay. Klein.
Yes.
Stefas.
Yes.
Gardine.
Yes.
Wonderton.
Yes.
DeHaan.
Yes.
Palmer. Yes. Hybor.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. All right. Very good. Back to school update. Discussion.
Thanks, Walt. Yeah, so just a couple things. We're getting closer. We're excited. We love this time of year. Love August and September better, but we're getting there, and things you can see the beginning. So we're excited about that component. Few things wrapping up some projects. Century Park. If you've been out there, you probably noticed we have a roof in process happening in July. The GEC adding 2 classrooms over there, same thing. A lot of things are going on in July. High school turf, as we mentioned, is done, looks great, ready to roll. In fact, we're already using it, which is awesome. Key thing, Oakstown. Oakstown is, as mentioned, really coming along great, really taking shape. I think people that have been in Grandville for a long time, and maybe that was your old high school or was your old middle school or your kids or whomever, I think you'll be amazed at the changes. We've already, Had some people call that, different alumni groups saying, can we get in there in October, or can we check that out? We'd love to see the difference, because we went to high school there, and, stuff like that, so that's very exciting. Speaking of getting in there, checking it out, we have a ribbon cutting and an open house. I believe it's Wednesday, August 14th at 5 o'clock. There's a lot going on that day because there's a window of time where our kids during the daytime are going to get in there. They have things going on. I know in the evening after that open house, there's some middle school band stuff going on as well with instruments and so on. So that'll be taking place. There'll be food trucks there. I mean, when the kids are coming in, they're doing it upright. They've got food trucks. They've got all this stuff going on. So it'll really be an exciting time. But we're really looking forward to that. Ribbon cutting will be very similar to what we did at the middle school. I'll say a few words. We'll cut the ribbon. We'll let people go in and just really check it out and everything. So very excited about that, and we'll give you more information as we get closer to that, but a good thing. School this year begins, and I know it sounds early, August 19th. We're very excited about, again, getting back. We have buildings that have air conditioning, so we're not worried about the heat like some of our friends, and
No more middle school half days.
yes, and really looking forward to a fabulous year. I think it's going to be a great year. Very excited about it. So I guess for now, that's it in a nutshell. Probably have more and more as we get closer. We'll continue to give you updates.
Right.
What's the staff?
Yeah, the
staff
breakfast
day?
and speak.
Yeah, that is the next day. So
7:15,
Uh,
8:15.
Yes, that will be. We'll have 7:30. So August 15th, 7:30 will be breakfast, and we have an agenda already done.
You spoke about the speaker, I think.
Yes, yes. We'll talk more about Troy as we get closer. He's a great dude. He'll be spending time with Oakstown in the afternoon as well. So
Great.
yeah.
How's our new company's principal doing
Alan's awesome.
as he's prepping?
Yeah, he's getting ready. He's fired up. Same thing. He's going to be a wonderful addition to our group. Our principals have already spent time with him. We had a retreat when school got out, a day retreat, and spent a lot of time on a variety of things, instruction, mainly instruction, but a lot of things, and had a chance to bond. And he fits right in. He'll be wonderful.
That's
So,
good.
all right. Anything
All right.
else?
All right, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so now on to public comment. We have two cards. First up, Michelle Thomas. Talk about SAT. Can you keep that?
It's never rambling.
As a first-year mom of well, I guess he's a senior now, but the SAT process, it's new to me, new to him. I kind of feel like this year's upcoming senior class has been a little bit of guinea pigs. I know that's not really Grandville's decision that the test was changed from paper to this new adaptive version, so they've been taking the PSAT for 4 years a certain way, and then now the time that it matters, it's changed on them. I only have polled a small group, but most of their test scores are much lower than what they were getting with the older version. I would love to know if that is true across Grandville or statewide. I have friends that are out of state where different states have even complained and said, hey, we're seeing different test scores. So I don't love that was changed. I wish it would have been something that was grandfathered in. Again, I know that's not a Grandville decision, but the other thing was communication. I didn't know that the SAT was not offered all summer long to take it again. My child didn't know that, so the plans to retake it, it's not offered in the summer. It was offered June 1st, which wasn't an option. So the next one isn't until August, so he's wanting to apply to colleges. He took this new adaptive version. There's a lot of learning that happened there, and then there aren't new sessions. We weren't aware of that. I don't know if it was communicated and we just missed it. That's fine. I do know of some kids that did take it on June 1st and their computers didn't work. So they studied, they prepared, they showed up, and then they couldn't take it. So I know there's a lot of kinks that have to happen, but that's a huge deal for a kid to prep for that test and then not be able to take it. So if I register my child for the next SAT that's happening in August, has that firewall issue been resolved? Will that be taken care of so that we don't have more kids that go and prepared for that test and then aren't able to take it? So I'm hoping we can work these kinks out because the window of time is running out for these senior kids to be able to take that, that test. My freshman took the PSAT for not the first time, but the second time. She wasn't able to take it on computer. When she took it that day, for whatever reason, she was not able to log in, so they had her take it the old-fashioned way on paper. We never got those results. I don't mind that because she was a freshman. We've got several years for her to continue to take that PSAT. I just feel like the transition to this new adaptive version was not very smooth on the technology portion and with prepping them to be prepared to take a version that was nothing like what they had been taking on the piece of paper. So I know schools aren't necessarily even using the SAT anymore, but I just feel like maybe there could have been something, or there can be something to help kids in the future be a little more prepared for that version.
Thank you. All right. Next, Cam Zukowski. Talk about alumni scholarships and thanks.
Good evening, members of the school board. Roger. I'm delighted to share that Grandville High School, class of 2004, held our 20-year reunion event at LMCU Ballpark on July 1st. It was a wonderful time for all who attended, providing a great opportunity for Grandville alumni to reconnect, reminisce, and celebrate our shared history while cheering on the West Michigan Whitecaps. The event was filled with joy, laughter, and a renewed sense of community. Additionally, I'd like to highlight the importance of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Patriots Pen, and Voice of Democracy programs. These programs offer valuable opportunities for our students to express their thoughts on patriotism and democracy, enhancing their writing and speaking skills in the process. I strongly encourage the board and administration to collaborate with students and teachers to ensure Grandville has robust submissions this year. Participation in these programs can significantly benefit our students, providing them with recognition and potential scholarships. I'd be happy to serve as a point of contact for the district for any questions on either of these programs. Lastly, I want to express my sincere appreciation to Roger, the administration, and the majority of the board for your ongoing efforts to support all of Grandville's students and educators, and for contributing to a sense of community within the district. Your dedication and hard work do not go unnoticed and are appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, no other public comment. The next workshop board meeting of the Grandville Board of Education will be Monday, August 5th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the administration building. This meeting is adjourned.